The smile that I forced was fictitious. The last thing I wanted to do was smile. I had a premonition that whatever she had to say would remove the amiable mood between us and leave a breach that would be hard to repair. She hadn't seemed to notice, because she announced, "You've heard of the pop singer Johnny Ringo, haven't you?" I stared at her coldly. "You talking about the blue-eyed soul, the white boy with the #1 record out right now?" Her eyes lit up. "Uh-huh, that's him. We haven't announced it yet, but we're supposed to be engaged and—" She froze in mid-sentence. My stare was so chilling, it paralyzed her. There was a burning rage inside of me that defied description. "I'd rather see you on your deathbed first, bitch." "Whoreson, I didn't know you were prejudiced," she said in a shocked voice. "Prejudice, hell, bitch. Every time one of you black bitches gets some kind of recognition with a little money to go with it, black men ain't good enough for you. Then you ask us why we want a pimp? That's all one of you funky bitches is good for, to be used." My voice dropped low, and it was full of scorn. "And to think, bitch, that you had enough nerve to tell me once about finishing school so that I could be something." She started to speak, but I interrupted. "Shut up. You once told me you wouldn't have a pimp. Well, dumb bitch, just what do you think you getting engaged to? It's for goddamn sure he wouldn't look at your black ass if you didn't have all that money in the bank from your records." I continued, not giving her a chance to speak. "I just wish it was possible I could see you when he took you home to introduce you to his people. They'd look at you like you just crawled out from under some rock. If it wasn't for your money, bitch, they'd probably ask you to empty the goddamn ashtrays." There were tears in her eyes as she stared at me. "I thought you had changed, Whoreson. But I see a better education didn't really help you. You're still rotten underneath it all." I grabbed her arm and almost pulled her across the visiting table. "Don't no black man want to see no black woman get played on, tramp, so if that's rotten, I'm rotten clean through." With the back of my hand, I wiped my lips. "I have 10 times more respect for a whore than what I have for you, tramp. At least they are getting paid when they associate with a peck of wood, but you, pig, you don't have any excuse. And to think that you had the audacity to offer your lips to me." Again, I wiped my lips with the back of my hand. Then I leaned across the table and spit in her face. I pushed back my chair and got up. The guard had seen my action and was bearing down on me. "Get me out of here, peck of wood," I growled at him. As I walked towards the door, I could hear her sobs behind me. Before I left the visiting room, the last sight I saw was Janet, with her head down on the table, crying. For my behavior in the visiting room, I was given 7 days in a hole. Upon my release from the hole, I ran into my buddy, the old con. He shook his head in disgust. "Man, oh man," he began. "Whoreson, I don't really know what to say other than that you're a damn fool. The whole prison is talking about you. The brothers who in the visiting room recognize Janet Wilson, boy, and they say you really spit in that girl's face. The bitch had it coming," I stated harshly. "What do you think I should have did after the bitch told me she was gonna marry a honky? Kiss her?" He continued to shake his head at my ignorance. "So what, fool? Do you think it helped your cause any by spitting in her face?" He began to lecture me, as though I were a child. "First of all, the girl had to like you, or she wouldn't have wasted her time coming up here. Second, ignorant-ass nigga, the girl got big stuff. I mean big stuff. Her cash is so long that the whiteys are playing for it. So what do? Instead of smoothing her feelings out and talking her into changing her mind, you spit in her face like some damn kid. And to think that I thought you might one day be a player. No wonder your partner stole your main woman. You ain't got no style about you." It occurred to me to knock him down. But in my heart, I knew what he was telling me was true. I gritted my teeth and listened. He studied me solemnly. Here, everybody in the prison is dreaming of the opportunity that presented itself to you. All they hoping for is the opportunity to just meet a woman in her position, and here you is with one in love with you, and you don't know how to handle it. His scorn was blistering. The only reason I took an interest in you when you came to this prison was because me and your mama used to be good friends. But if I had known you was this much of a fool, I'd never have spoke to you. He removed his cigarette and lit it. Any time a nigger and whitey are shooting at the same woman, and she's black, the whitey has to have big money to win. In your case, sucker, the honky ain't got big stuff. He just another po-ass singer with one record out. For several moments he remained silent. I stared at him, and suddenly it dawned on me that he was taking this personally. Looking at it from his viewpoint, I could understand his anger. For him, such a woman would be a precious possession, an opportunity of a lifetime. Naturally, he resented my blunder. To him, it seemed as if I were tossing away something he had searched for all his life without ever attaining. With me, it was different. I was 20 years younger than him, and I didn't have a doubt in my mind that I wouldn't get over big when I got out of prison. There wasn't any one bitch in the world that I felt I had to bend over backwards for. What the other niggas in the penitentiary thought about me didn't mean nothing. I was going home in less than 4 months. What they didn't realize was that the bitch got away lucky. If we had been anywhere else, I would have done much more than spit on her. I grinned. I began to picture myself peeing on top of her head. The old con scowled at me. I don't know what you find to grin about. I guess you think you done something cute. Well, you sure in the hell didn't, young ass, bitch-ass mother. That's as far as he got. I caught him upside the head with a hard right hook, then put 2 sharp left hooks in his stomach that folded him up. Before he could get himself together, I hit him on the chin with a straight right-hand shot that laid him out cold. For fighting in the yard, they put me in isolation until I was discharged. That was all right with me, 'cause I knew if they put me back in population, I was going to have a lot of trouble out of that con. He wouldn't forget the sneak punch I'd hit him with no time soon. And then to get knocked out by a younger con like me, even though I fought on the boxing squad, wouldn't make matters any easier. He would have to retaliate, or his name would become Pussy. That's the way it was in prison. Either a man fought and proved he was a man, or he played the passive role and got fucked. To lose a fight in prison didn't mean anything. To lose without fighting back spelled trouble. They had a saying in prison that all cons heard sooner or later: fuck, fight, or wash clothes. If you washed clothes to get out of fighting, you would just about end up being fucked before the week was out. Sodomy rape was a way of life in the penitentiary, not something that occurred on occasion. If you were weak or showed fear, you became fair game for the dogs. What they couldn't do with fear, they would accomplish with force. That's how some of the prisons get a steady supply of punks. The dogs turn them out. By rape, if necessary. By persuasion, when possible. Is there any wonder, then, that when I left prison, I was more an animal than a man? My nickname, while I was in prison, shows more than words could do what kind of man I was becoming. Boss Dog.